It's the east coast of Scotland. The wind cuts hard off the North Sea. You're standing on open coastal ground, flat and exposed. Scrubby grass, packed sand, rabbit holes dug into every rise and hollow. You pick up a smooth stone. You find a bent stick. You swing. The stone skips low across the turf and drops into one of the holes. You stare at it. Something clicks. That's the whole idea. You mark the hole with a branch pushed into the ground. You walk back 40 paces. You try again. Wide left. You try again. Short. You try again. This goes on for 2 hours. The wind never stops. Your hands are raw and cold, but you keep swinging. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. You're just a person on a cold stretch of ground, trying to hit a hole you can barely see from here. The next day you come back. You bring your brother. You show him your hole. You show him how to hold the stick and swing it low and flat. He beats you on his third try. You don't like that, so you dig a second hole, farther away, harder to reach. That's the first course. 2 holes in a sheep pasture on the eastern coast of Scotland. Word spreads. It always does. By spring there are 6 of you playing. By summer, 12. Somebody digs another hole, then another. Your course stretches further along the coast each week. You argue constantly about the rules. What counts as a fair swing? Whether you're allowed to nudge your stone out of a footprint before you hit it. What happens when your stone lands in thick gorse and disappears completely? Every dispute gets settled by whoever argues longest. It works well enough. You play through winter, even when the ground is frozen solid. Even when sleet comes off the sea so hard, you can't see 10 paces ahead. You can't explain why you keep showing up. You just need do. And so does everyone else. That's when you realize this isn't going away. It's 1457. Word comes down from Edinburgh. King James II has issued an official edict through Parliament. Scotland has enemies on every border. It always does. The country needs soldiers who can shoot arrows and hold a line, not men wandering coastal fields with sticks. Golf gets named directly in the act. Gaof, they spell it, grouped alongside football, both banned. Unprofitable sports. Distractions from military readiness. You read it twice. Then you go back to the links and swing anyway. The king is in Edinburgh. He can't see you from there. Your local sheriff has his own game going on Thursday mornings and has no interest in making enemies over a pastime. Nobody enforces it seriously. The ban lives on paper. The game lives in the grass. They ban it again in 1471, then again in 1491. 3 acts of parliament across 35 years. Each one calls your game a problem. Each one calls it a waste. You keep count. 3 bans means 3 times they noticed. You don't issue official orders against things nobody does. You only ban things people love too much to quit. Every new act tells you the same thing. The game is growing. You're playing in Edinburgh now. Your stone and stick have spread to every stretch of coastal grass from Leith to Fife. Players you've never met are out there swinging on courses you've never seen. The crown keeps issuing orders. The country keeps swinging. Nobody stops. Then everything shifts. It's 1502. The Treaty of Glasgow ends the war with England. No more military crisis. And King James IV does something nobody expected. He buys a set of clubs from a bowmaker in Perth. He starts playing. He's the first golfing monarch in history. This is a king who 3 years ago could have fined you for what you do every Thursday morning. Now his own treasurer is logging the cost of a dozen golf balls purchased at Stirling. The game goes from banned to royal in a few months. Once your king plays, the nobles follow. Once the nobles play, everyone wants in. Your pastime becomes fashionable. That's a different kind of dangerous. 2 years later, it's 1504. James IV plays a documented match against the Earl of Bothwell, the first officially recorded game in history. The king wins, or at least nobody in that room says otherwise. In 1682, the Duke of York plays the first international match at Leith, pairing with a local man against 2 English noblemen. The Scots win. A man named Andrew Dixon carries the Duke's clubs that day. He becomes the first recorded caddy. Then Mary, Queen of Scots, takes your game to France during her years of study there. Her French military aides, the cadets, carry her clubs from hole to hole. The French start calling those assistants caddies. That word crosses back to Scotland, then to England, then to every country your game will ever reach. Your equipment is rough work. Clubs are cut by hand from local beech and ash. Everyone is different. Everyone costs money. The balls are worse. First, just smooth stones. Then wooden spheres that split apart on hard ground. By the 1600s, craftsmen are making featheries, leather casings packed tight with boiled goose feathers. You stuff the feathers in while everything is wet and soft. It dries hard and dense. Then you stitch it shut and paint it white. A skilled maker produces maybe 4 balls in a full working day. Each one costs more than a laborer earns in a week. Lose yours in the gorse, and you feel it immediately. Your game at this stage belongs to people with money. That's just the truth. A working man can't lose 3 balls in an afternoon and walk away without feeling it. Nobody writes your rules down for a long time. Everything runs on local custom and whoever argues loudest. Then, in 1744, the gentlemen golfers of Leith decide to change that. They set up an annual competition for the Edinburgh Silver Club. To run it properly, you need rules everyone agrees to in advance. They write 13, just 13 rules on a single page. Play your ball as it lies. No improving your lie. No relief from standing water. These 13 become the foundation for everything that follows. Every governing body, every official competition, every rulebook ever printed in any country traces back to what those men agreed on in Leith in March 1744. Before that day, your game is a pastime. After it, your game is a sport. St. Andrews has been a golf town since the early 1400s. The links are common ground, public land going back to a royal charter from 1123. In 1552, Archbishop Hamilton confirms the townspeople's right to play there. Not just nobility, everyone. Your game belongs to the whole town. The course has 22 holes at that point. Players go out along the coastline and come back in on the same track, hitting the same holes from the other direction. By 1764, your course is badly crowded. 2 separate matches converging on the same green from opposite sides. It's chaos. The captain, William St. Clair of Roslin, makes a decision. The first 4 holes are too short. Combine them into 2. Do the same with the last 4. Your course drops from 22 holes to 18. Not because anyone voted on a standard, because one man thought 4 holes weren't long enough and changed them. Every golf course built anywhere in the world after that copies your number without knowing where it came from. Then it's 1797. The St. Andrews Town Council goes bankrupt. Your links get sold to cover the debt. The new owners are local merchants. They don't want a golf course. They want a rabbit farm. They move their animals in and set up enclosures across your ground. Your golfers don't leave. What follows is more than 20 years of open conflict. Golfers tear out rabbit pens at night. Merchants fill your holes in during the day. Both sides go to court. Both sides lose and keep fighting anyway. It ends in 1821. A local landowner named James Cheap buys the links at auction. He's a golfer. He purchases the whole thing just to save your course. The rabbits are cleared. Your holes come back. 20 years of war over a cold piece of coastal grass in Fife, Scotland. The gutta percha ball arrives in 1848. It's milky latex tapped from a tree in Malaysia. Boil it soft, roll it into a sphere, let it harden. It costs far less than a feathery to produce. It lasts longer. It doesn't split when it strikes a rock. Losing one in the rough is no longer a week's wages gone. Then the railways come. Ordinary people can travel beyond their own towns for the first time in their lives. Golf clubs appear all across Scotland, then England, then across the Atlantic. Equipment goes into factories and mass production. The handmade beach club gives way to the standardized factory shaft. What started as your bent stick and a rabbit hole on a cold Scottish coastline becomes something played in every corner of the world.